Glad that you chose to be with me. I promise you one thing for sure, this session will not be boring. I hate boring speakers as a speaker myself, and I want the interactions. I'll try to interact with you and also hear your feedback, because I'm here also to share, but also to learn from each one of you. One interesting thing that I did in this session is I actually look to share with you things from the sides of the attendees and not necessarily from the side of the organizer. So it will be to reflect to those of you who organize event, participants in events, and I'm on your side, by the way, as organizing as well as a speaker, will understand differently what they're looking for. And maybe the experience you create will counter that when they're dealing with networking. So I think we are right on the time that I see people joining. So welcome. And I want to teach you a little bit more of speaker, share with you some secret, something people don't necessarily speak when they talk about networking. I promise you one thing, that everything I'm going to share with you should work and you can implement right away in everything you're doing in networking events. Otherwise, it doesn't worth it, right? Who want to hear theories? I'm asking you just to hang up and everything, close every phone or iPad. Anything bothering you? Because if you know me, I'm all about giving attention. So you decide to give attention to me. So do me a little favor, give us a half an hour together. And if you have any question, you can do it during it. I'm scanning the chat and my team as well. And as well at the end, we'll be able to interact and you can ask more questions. So my name is Itzik Amiel. I'm originally from Israel. I live in the Netherlands for the last 20 years. I'm a lawyer and accountant in my profession. So interesting to be in that industry differently. But as I said, in the last 12 years, I'm an international speaker. I used to speak, not last year, on the biggest stage of the world for 20, 50, 10,000 people around the world. And only talk about the things that I love. And now I do it, of course, online. This is my best-selling book called The Attention Switch. It's called about giving attention. That's why I believe networking is about not getting attention. And this is my website. If you want to discover more about me or read more, I'm not going to pitch about myself here. This is the biggest community worldwide that I organize called The Switch, where we have 75,000 members around the world where they're learning more how to take the relationship via online events and communities and transfer it to become referrals and revenue. I consider to be the leading authority on networking. And this is my family, my wife and two girls. By the way, this is an old picture. They are now 20 and 17. I just love it. And I hate pictures. And I keep using that one. And we live in the Netherlands, as I said. So the first thing I want you to think about when we talk about networking and in events, and online specifically, I think one of the problems people have, they don't ask the right question. What do I mean? See, it always starts when we organize an event. It always starts with a rush. We have to do things. Last year, many people want to bring things online because they couldn't do it offline. And, we have to start a new event and maybe meeting new people and maybe even the new rules of engagement of networking, because every person who organizes an event has a different rules. That's awesome. Everybody in there. Maybe some of you even will buy a new microphone and a new camera because of that interaction we're getting more online. But that said, then after you did all of the stuff, suddenly you begin to settle in. You're thinking about it. And again, from a point of attendee, the real stress kicks in. You know why? Because they're actually asking themselves, wondering if they will get the results this time. Because every time they go to the event, every year they go to the event, offline, online, but what kind of result did they get? They got hopes. But hopes doesn't work only in Disneyland, right? But did they get the tangible results for the networking? Or what is the return on relationship? Because when they're attending an online event, each one of the people want to get return on relationship. Now, it's interesting for me to share with you, but I always say the best event organizer will be the whole event, the whole day will be networking. Because think about your attendees. What are they coming to the event for? Most of them will say, number one, for networking, meeting new people, create new opportunities. And you give them a bunch of all kind of content, which is great. But why? Because you're fearing to put the whole day networking, and then you put breaks of networking, here 20 minutes, here 15 minutes. Why don't you bring majority of the thing networking? Because maybe then they're going to get return on investment bigger. And each one of them ask themselves, and including you, did I get it right? Did I get right the way we do networking? And I want you to start asking yourself a different question when you build an online event as an attendee or as an organizer in order to reap the benefits from networking. Because every day, each one of us working hard, right? And each day, each one of us, we work many hours. But guess what? A lot of people are the same. And guess what? You also demonstrate your knowledge every day by speaking. But a lot of people are doing the same. You need to get to the next level in networking online, in the hybrid events or online events. You need to ask a different question. And the question I want to kick this conversation is with, what am I doing to demonstrate my value to my connections? Because remember, and you probably know, a lot of you know, networking is just the beginning of relationship, just the seed on the ground. And do you give enough value to the people that they want? Because if you don't think about answering this question, the problem is somebody else already asking this question about you as an attendee, about you as an organizer. Then ask question like, will she or he be able to help me solve my problems? Then ask question like, does she or he have the potential to add value to my business? Because they're coming to your event, they're attending it, and they want to get value to the business. They're not coming there for fun. The time is the biggest commodity they have. It's the value you give. And if not, they're asking, can I afford to keep in touch with her or him? Right? That's about the question they got in the hand. So if you don't answer your question, they get those questions. Now, the most important, I think, and a lot of you will agree, I hope, in growing your career, growing your business, growing your anything you are, it is the ability to network. Or maybe we all hate the word network. You may actually talk about the ability to build relationships. The ability to build relationships is in the source and the heart of every event we're doing. Can our attendees get that? How can we help them do it better? So the good news today is there are strategies that you actually can implement. And even for attendees, that'll be the first time for them for attending online event or hybrid event, reap the benefit and allow them to get more from the online event. And instead of wondering, does she or he has what it takes, so try thinking about how do we make sure he or she will stay in touch with us and build the relationship we are looking for. See, that's what we want for building relationship. Now, the first question I want you to ask yourself, if you didn't by now, you should, and those of you attending, why should you listen to me? So I want you to ask you a question. I would love to get your input on that. When you want to invest, for example, your money, will you go and guess a banker advice? Do you go to a banker and ask the banker how to invest your money? Can you put in the chat, what is your answer? Yes or no? Will you go and get a banker advice how to invest your money? Yes or no? Let me see the answers. No, 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 Kathy. Kathy said, Ellen said no. David said no, no, no. True. It's the most stupid thing to go to a banker to get advice how to invest the money. How? Why? Because the banker doesn't know. If he knew, become a billionaire themselves. They're just getting a salary from a bank, right? If you want to get an advice how to invest the money, go, I don't know, to Warren Buffett. He will tell you, copy paste. The same here. What I'm trying to tell you today is things that I did since 2005. I own one of the biggest platforms for online events since 2005, and we already sold it. But I was involved with film Second Lifetime. So it's not because of Corona I went to that industry. I love networking all the time, and I have an international network of 750,000 people. So how do I get them engaged with each other? And that's what I want to share with you today. So I take all the best benefits, and I want to share with you them right now. It's okay, and I give all the
everybody, let's get into it. Get stoked, get started, get started.
So everybody, here we go. So the first question is, how's the best network your online event, or if you want even the hybrid event? So the first things I think we all agree we should have, when we're networking online, we should have a different mindset when we're networking offline. And that's called, and I think you know this movie, let me show you that and I'll come to in a second to explain to you. So let's watch a short movie. Let's see if it works. Oops. Since that movie doesn't work, anyway. So when we're networking online, we talk about a framework called CSC, sorry. When working online, we talk about a framework called ORS. What do I mean? When we talk about offline networking, if everybody who network online, you know that you need to be successful networking online, offline in real events. You need to be close. You cannot accept everybody come your way. You have to be selective and you have to be confidential because not everybody is allowed to come and bother you. But when we're going online, we talk about online event, the networking experience is totally different. You have to be open to everybody come. They come from everywhere. It could be randomically. You don't know who they are. You didn't have enough time maybe to do your homework about every person. And you have to be supportive to every person if you really want to build relationships. So the mindset of the people who are attending online event and want to succeed and get results are totally different than the mindset when they are offline. The second thing is preparing the list. Most of the people who come to online event, they want to build relationship. Now, I want to ask you first a question. What is the main goal for building relationship according to you? Because we build relationship for a reason, for a season, or for lifetime. These are the three possibilities to build relationship: for a reason, season, or lifetime. And I always say to people, if you want to build, if you want to be successful in networking and online event, you have to think about the person you're meeting. Will you build a relationship with this person the rest of your life? If the answer is no, don't waste your time, because it will not happen. See, there's enough people that you want to build a relationship for lifetime. And how do you do that? Create a list. Create a list of 20 people you want to meet in an event, or help your attendees create such a list before they're attending the event. What are the 20 people they want to meet? Maybe 3 people they know already, maybe 3 new people, and maybe 3 romantic people. I don't know, maybe 10 and 10 and 10, whatever it is they want, but they have 20, because once they achieve that during your event, guess what? They'll feel successful. They'll feel they got results. They're more happy, and now they relax and they get. And you have to be clear about this list, because you cannot just randomly pick people, right? You have to be thinking, why are they joining a certain event offline and online? All these people are attending your event. Who will be there that potentially can send you some business? Maybe that's the people you want to meet first before meeting the other ones, correct? And you could also check participation lists. In the case you as event organizer or as an attendee, people are sharing the participation list. Do you take your time? Invest your time, whatever you want to call it, but read the participation list, find those people, look at the stuff, look who they are, and create your own connection list, the people you want to connect while attending this event. And definitely you should search and collect enough information of this connection list. It's a hard work, I know, but you know, when you invest time, as Abraham Lincoln said, give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I spend the first for sharpening the axe, because it's all about the preparation for the event to get the result and get the networking experience much better. And how many of you, when you organize event, help your attendees prepare before they come to the event into the networking experience, right? My top tip for you, search even the personal profile, whatever it is on the internet, social media, everything you could find about the people you want to connect, because that will save you a lot more time. When you come to the event, there won't be strangers. You know something, you know commonalities, and it will help you connect with them much better. Number 3, be present. Be present during the online event. A lot of people doing a lot of stuff, because it's very easy to check your email, do other stuff. Maybe part of you now listening to me and do other stuff, but you know, it won't be there. You will not be engaged. Now, I ask you to think, what is the goal of building relationship? Anybody want to put in chat box? What is the goal of building relationship? Anybody? What is the goal of building relationship? Please type in the chat box what according to you is the goal. 1 word, 2 words, 3 words. Business, Matthew said. What is the goal of building relationship? Building warm, connecting. Anybody? What is the goal of building relationship? Connections. Matthew, thanks for participation. Kathy, thank you. Connection, mutual opportunities. You know what's the goal of building relationship, my dear friend? And maybe it's surprised part of you, maybe not. The goal of building relationship is building relationship. And that's the problem. A lot of people coming with business mindset. Okay, I need to get business out of it. I need to get a client. No, you build relationship for the sake of building relationship. The spin-off of building relationship is clients, referrals, opportunities. If you consistently invest in this building relationship, deepen them up, they will get you results, friendship, whatever you want. But building relationship, when you come to a networking event, the only reason you want to talk to people because you want to build a relationship. You have no second agenda. You're not thinking, okay, how can I convert them? They might not be even your client, but maybe they know enough people that can be your client. And that's the problem. A lot of people, I think Ellen Keller is the one who said, when you meet people, look at them, think about that. They carry a note that says, treat me like important person, because each one of them, behind them, there are thousands of people you miss if you don't connect with them. So yes, you see, networking is definitely a work you need to invest in order to reap the benefit in the long run. So if you talk about online event as offline event, arrive early, stay late, be there, see the people around, see how they're engaging, how they're communicating, what are they writing to you. Commit to meet people. That's it. Meet people and scare yourself. If you don't like meeting people, scare yourself. You do it offline, do it online. It's an opportunity to see people you could not see and leave good impression. A lot of people talk about the first impression. I will talk a lot of time about the last impression, because a lot of time people forget about the last impression. When you end the conversation, what do you keep in their mind? They want to remember the energies, remember the warmth, the kindness, whatever you leave with them, that they want to engage with you again when you're back. Number 4, when we talk about networking in online event, is the ability to give attention, not only to get attention. And that's exactly what I said a lot of time. And that's my best-selling book is all about, is giving attention versus getting attention. A lot of people are going to try to grab attention to themselves. Networking is about giving attention to the other people. Or in other words, maybe be interested rather than be interesting. Be interested in other people rather than be interesting only about yourself, how awesome you are. And that's the problem a lot of people do networking, that people don't like. What do you think people love to talk about the most? Anybody want to think what people love to talk most when you meet people? What do they like to talk most about? Family and yourself, great. Themselves, absolutely. People love to talk about themselves. Just give them the stage and talk all the time about themselves. So look how easy it is, even for the introvert in the audience, also networking for the introvert, because they know how to ask the right questions. So in order to open this Pandora box, why don't you think about teaching your audience or teaching yourself to come with some question ready to get the engagement started. It's a question about the other people. Because if you just be there like an interviewer, like a journalist, ask question, and they get to talk about themselves, guess what? They'll feel awesome. And they'll think you're an amazing person. And the follow-up will be just even easier for you. So the best conversations start to build on them of the getting together, the thinking about themselves, talking about themselves. The more you do that, the easier network you get during online event. And why? Because very two easy thing I'll give you now to think about. If you do that, if you let them think about themselves, one thing for sure it will happen. And just I stuck my slides stuck. I don't know why, but let's wait a second. So one thing is they help you gather information about the person needs. And if you ask questions, it's also show off your own expertise to them, because they will ask you, what are you doing? And they'll time when you come and share about yourself. And my own tip I add to it, there's no shortcut here. Success results for preparation and hard work. The more you prepare, the more successful you'll be and on an event. And I love this quote by Dale Carnegie, who said, you can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can get in 2 years, but trying to get other people interested in you. Take it into mind, especially in Corona time, especially in the time we are in, especially in an online event. That's how you shine through the crowd, when you get interested in other people, instead let them be interested in you. And number 5, when you do it online networking, treat relationship like diamonds. What do I mean here? So in order to talk about relationship in general, or specifically, I want you to think and ask yourself, if you could remember all your connections, and I guess you agree, the answer is you will not, right? You know a lot, probably thousands of people, the younger people with us today, probably 1,000 people, but you not remember them. Another thing is maybe I want to ask yourself, will you stay in touch with all your connections? You probably know the answer here, because 98% of people failing on the follow-up, you probably will not. You're not following up with all people you probably should follow up with. You see, that's the problem of networking. So not unless you really organize and manage all these people. If you treat people like diamonds, trust me, you know where your diamonds are. You need to organize your connection you make online. And in short, you have your own kit, or abbreviation of keep in touch. Because it doesn't matter how you do it, my dear friend. It doesn't matter for me at all if you have an Excel sheet when you write people up, if you use Outlook for it, if you use a notepad or CRM system. I don't care how you're doing it, as long that you do it. As long as you take the action to follow up with people and stay in touch. Otherwise, no results will come from networking event. And guess what? If your event organizer, they're going to blame it on you because they got no results. But if they start meeting people, connecting, following up, you're going to get the credit for it, although you just introduced them for the first time. And my top tip here, especially important to you, if you do not like networking, that's the easiest thing to do. Not to focus on everybody, focus on those people you need to focus and develop those relationships. Because if you don't follow up, as Michelle Moore said, not following up with your connection is the same as filling up your bathtub without first putting the stopper in the drain. So you follow up, or you're going to fail. And this, you need to teach the lesson to the attendees of your event, because if they don't learn it, they're not going to get any results for participating in your event. As you know, network is one of the most important parts. So I know I have several minutes left over, and before I'm going to give you the little last note, I want to hear a little bit from you. And if you have any input there or question, or you want to ask anything, and your inputs. I see some people already reacting, and I see that Matthew asked, what does the introvert do to network? And can the virtual environment be optimized to help those attendees? That's a question. And by the way, I'm an introvert, Matthew. So, you know, I'm more introverted than extroverted in my character. I just know communication skills. But definitely online event was for a long time a good opportunity to introvert to show themselves, to shine through. You know why? Because if you go to a real event, there's people in the center. Many times we call them network jerks. They want to be seen. You know, where the most important people standing in the real event, real life event, in the side. They don't want to be engaged. They don't want to be bothered. So you better stay in the side. And introverts are good in it. But online, it's all about giving attention, asking the question, preparation. Guess who's better? Introvert. So absolutely in the online event, I think that's why I use it for many years, because that's an opportunity to people who are afraid sitting in the audience asking questions. When we talk online and we don't ask video necessarily, they're easy to just in the chat to drop even a question and without need to open the microphone. So absolutely great question, a great opportunity to use networking in a different way to let other people shine. I hope that answered the question, Matthew. Kathy said, relationship first before the business. It's all about building the relationship. Absolutely. You do business with people you know, like, and trust. This is the most possible building relationship first. Absolutely, Kathy. And, you know, let me ask you a question, because we know there are 4 things that should happen between people before they engage you to take your services. You know what they are? They have to have confidence in you. They have to trust you. They have to like you. They have to believe in you. Again, confidence, believe, trust, and like. Out of these 4 things, what do you think, Kathy, or all of you, what do you think is the most important thing? Confidence? Can you type in the chat? Is it confidence? Is it trust? Is it like? Is it believe? What is the most important component of all of them? I see Yin said like, David said trust, David, trust, confidence, trust. Most of you said trust. Really? Imagine a lady go out at night with a guy and in a date, and she comes home, everybody asks her, how was your date? She said, I don't know, I trust the guy, but I didn't like him. So, Ian, you're right. It's about likability. Likability is the first thing when you talk networking. With no likability come to place, personal opinion of mine, some of you may agree with me, but trust will never appear if there's no likability. So likability is the sparkle of building relationship also online, and it's easily to see. I see an interesting conversation between you. I'm happy that if you have any other question, just type it in. I see that Denise asking, how do you balance personal and professional? When you develop the relationship, it is professional. What practical topics can you discuss to develop trust, professional expertise? Denise, absolutely amazing question. You know why? So I'll tell you a secret. I'm actually investigating one problem we have in networking or building relationship. This is, I think in English, the right word is dichotomy. This separation, somewhere along the history, we as human being did. And maybe the corona will help us break the walls. What is that is the distinction I'm talking about? If I ask you now to give me keyword about personal relationship or professional relationship, let's start with professional relationship. What does the keyword come? People give you keyword like trust, building relationship, reliability. Okay, great. Let's talk about personal relationship. Not give me keyword about personal relationship. Now you come with word like care and love and empathy. Who in the hell in the history of the human being told that there should be this wall? Why? Can't you love your clients? Can you love your professional connection? Of course, it's not the same love you give your children or your uncle or your parents. But that's the moment when you move that and you break the wall and you don't think, do I build a relationship with this person just to get business or to become friend? It becomes easier because then you have the natural skills. I guess all of you have friends, all of you have family. How did you study to build relationship with those people? Interesting question, right? And you're doing so well. Do you have also on your refrigerator a kind of a list saying, on Tuesday I called my aunt on 2 o'clock, and on Wednesday I call at 7 o'clock. None of us doing it, right? But we still maintaining relationship very well because we were born with the skills. So when it comes to professional environment, if you be yourself, authentic you, and you build a relationship the same like you do in personal environment, guess what? You attract the right people to you, and the rest will go away, and your life will be just joyful. So I hope that a little bit give more sharpness your input, Dennis, and I like it very much. So I know we are almost at the end of my time, so let me just give you some more tools and definitely interacting in the chatting. I'm here in the event with all of you, and you can also book a time we can talk and do some more interesting and show you more tools we have for networking in the event and how to connect people. But let me just share with you a few more things. That's to end up my little presentation. So the last word, there'll be many of these strategies that they are, but do they really help you bring business to your attendees? I may give you now a maybe disappointing answer, but probably not. Probably it's not going to give them, at least not in the short term. You see, as we all know, building a relationship is about the long term. Because if all of these things are shared with you together, all these 5 points are shared with you together, these are the building blocks for building deeper relationship, building a better networking experience for attendees online and definitely also offline. And please put it in your top priority when you're building an event, because that's what people coming from. At least one of the 3 things they're coming from is the networking. And many times we ignore it. The golden rule when we're building relationship online and offline is, and watch the simple movie, and I'll tell you in a second.
Open door.
Door open.
Radio on.
Playing radio.
Lights.
Lights on.
Protein shake.
Making protein shake.
New York.
Loading New York. Set speed.
4.
4.
6.
6. 16.
4.
Error.
Okay, 16. 4.
4. Correction. 16.
Hallo.
Oh, hey, Brian. Good luck.
Up.
9, down.
Lights down.
Only 16. Only 16.
4.
And from one classic to another, this is Summer of '69.
69.
So you got the simplicity is king. When we talk about networking, online, offline, simplicity is king. Keep it simple. If you keep it simple, if you help your attendees get the result you want, they'll come happy. They'll tell everybody about it, and they come to your event. And Steve Jobs said, simple can be harder than complex. You have to work hard to get your thinking clean to make it simple. But it's worth it at the end, because once you get there, you can move mountains. So think what is worth for you, for your event, and you're organizing, you're part of it. You can ask any question you want in the chat, or later on, we're going to answer you. I promise to answer you personally. But my last advice to you when we talk about networking, be the tortoise, don't the herd. It's all about the marathon. It's not a sprint. Thank you very much, everybody, for attending. And again, please connect, come to the booth. If you have any question, you can send me to info@itzikamiel.com, or you can even schedule a short call, or we can know each other personally. Maybe we build relationship. Bye, everybody. Thanks for your time. Thanks for participating.